In this video, we're going to infer properties of populations or distributions from a sample, which is sometimes called capture-recapture problems, and we're going to know the limitations of doing so. So basically, when you'll get a sample and then you make an estimation of what the population size may be. If you're revising, you can have a go there at questions 4 and 5. Pause the video. Okay, we'll go through this, and if you don't understand what I've said so far, hopefully you will at the end. The data collected in a sample is a representation of the whole population. Different samples may provide different results. I'll repeat that. Different samples may provide different results. The only way to get a perfect representation of the population is to ask the whole population. Small samples, therefore, can be very unreliable because they are definitely not the whole population. And if you take nothing away, memorize and write this down in your exam. To increase the reliability of a sample, we should increase the sample size. So if you take the whole population, the pros of that, the positives for that is that all the opinions are represented and it's a very reliable technique. The cons are that it will be very slow to get everybody or everything in the when collecting the data. It's sometimes impossible to get every item of data, and it would be very expensive to do so. So that's why we take quite often a sample. And why it's good is it's quick and easy. And these are just the opposites of each other. If a population is slow, then a sample is quick and easy. If a population is expensive, then a smaller sample size is going to be less expensive. Then if a population is very reliable, then a sample would be not as reliable as the population. It might still be pretty reliable, but it'll never be as reliable as the population. And all the opinions are represented in the population, so it's in some ways it's perfect. But if you only get a sample, then there may be opportunity for bias to be created there. So from all of that, if you just remember, you need to remember that whole table, but mainly to increase reliability, increase sample size. These two questions have nothing really to do with what I've said so far, but they could come up. So question 4, Bob wants to estimate the number of fish in a lake. He catches and puts a special mark on 26 fish and returns them to the pond. So he has marked 26 fish out of the total number of fish in the pond, which we don't know. After a couple of days, Bob returns to the pond and catches 70 fish. 70 would be a sample of the full population, and of which 10 have a special mark on them. So 10 out of 70, or 1/7 of the sample, have the special mark. We have to estimate the total number of fish in the lake. There are 3 or 4 very good intuitive methods to do this, and if you can get the right answer doing a different method from me, it's absolutely fine. You might want to talk through it with your teacher if they're happy with your approach, because there are a good few ways to do this. If I tell you 3 or 4 ways though, I think that'll be more confusing, so I'm going to just go with one method, which might be initially feel more complicated, but actually everyone can latch onto it and learn the approach and get success with it. So you may not have seen it before, your teacher may not have done this approach, but I'm going to bring it in and see how you would get on with it. And it's sort of using this like an equation. So with this approach, we've got a population and then we've got a sample. And Bob marks a fraction of the population, and then there's a fraction that are marked in the sample when he picks them out again. And those two, we are sort of, if our sample is reliable, we're sort of inferring that those two things should be the same. If we know the fraction that our sample the fraction that are marked in the sample, we can infer how many we think there would be in the population based on how many were marked initially. So what fraction are marked in the population? Well, he captured 26 fish. So 26 were marked out of, well, we don't know how many is in the population. That's our unknown. So I'm going to call that X. When he recaptures the fish, he captures a total of 70, and of which 10 are marked. So the fraction that are marked should be equal to the fraction that are marked in the population. So this here. And here we've got a fraction equals a fraction, and we should hopefully be familiar with the technique of cross multiplying when a fraction equals a fraction. And we get x times 10 is 10x. It might be easier actually if I just divided through by 10 first of all, but I've started now, so I'll keep going. Then we would do 26 times 70. That gives 1,820. So if we divide through by 10 then, we would get 182. So 26 were marked out of 182. We're guessing there's 182 in there because 26 out of 182 would be equivalent to 10 out of 70, which is what he's captured. We can use the same approach in question number 5. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that down here. Actually, I keep both so you can see what's going on. So Daisy wants to estimate the number of rabbits in a park. So she thinks she can't count them all. There's maybe too many, or it's just impossible to count them. So she wants to estimate. So she catches and puts a tag on 64 rabbits and releases them back into the park. The next day, Daisy returns to the park and catches 58 rabbits. 4 of these have the tag on them. Work out an estimate for the total number of rabbits in the park. So there are 64 rabbits that she caught initially out of the total population, the total number of rabbits in the park, which we don't know. So that's the fraction that were marked initially, the fraction of the population. She recaptures 58 rabbits. And out of those rabbits, 4 are tagged or marked. So the fraction that are marked in the sample should be equal to the fraction that are marked in the population if the sample is representative. So we can make those two things equal to each other. And when a fraction equals a fraction, we can cross multiply. Let's say that 4x is equal to 64 times 58. Which is 3,712. And if we divide that by 4, we get 928. And again, 64 tagged out of 928 as a fraction is the same as 4 out of 58. Okay, many other ways to do that. If you've got the same answers as that, then well done.